So up till now we discussed about this type 3 hypersensitivity. Am I audible to you? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So this immune complexes, there is FC receptor engagement, complement activation, platelet aggregation, activation of the Hashman factors that we discussed. The main outputs of this particular chain of reaction is necrosis. There is vasodilatation, necrosis, and there is formation of inflammatory response arises, and there will be lastly necrosis. So this is about the type 3 hypersensitivity reaction. Now the next is local immune complex disease. That is, now we are discussing about the circulating immune complexes. So what does, due to this circulatory immune complexes, what are the effects of this? That is, there will be inflammatory reaction, there is inflammation, and due to inflammation, as a clinical manifestation, there may be fever, there may be urticaria, there may be lymphadenitis. Such reactions may occur due to this, and this local immune complex reaction. Now, it is known as Arthus reaction. Local immune complex disease, it is known as Arthus reaction. It is a localized area of tissue necrosis resulting from acute immune complex vasculitis, usually elicited in the skin. Okay, so whenever any person, if immunized, if it is priorly immunized by the antigen, now if that particular individual is already immunized, there is abundant circulatory antibodies, they are already there against that particular antigen in the circulation, or against that particular antigen. If the injection of same antigen is given to that particular individual, then what will going to happen? There is this exaggerated immune response, and with this exaggerated immune response, these antigens, they get deposited, antigen antibody complexes, they get deposited on the vessel wall, and there is formation of local immune complex reaction. Okay, local immune complex reaction, and the common sites, they are on the skin, which gives rise to edema, which gives rise to hemorrhages, or which gives rise to tissue necrosis. Now the reaction can be produced experimentally by injection of antigen in an immune animal, that is, already it is immune against that particular antigen, having circulating antibodies against that antigen. That particular individual or animal, it is having circulatory antibodies against that particular antigen. As antigen diffuses inside the vessel wall, it binds the preformed antibody, and large immune complexes are formed locally, which precipitate in the vessel walls and trigger out the inflammatory reaction. Okay, it is exaggerated reaction because already in the circulation that antibodies against that particular antigen, it is present. Okay, if the injection of that particular antigen, if it is given again, then this circulating antibodies, they forms immune complexes, large antigen antibody complexes, they get deposited locally and initiates the inflammatory reaction. The Arthus reaction develops over a few hours, that is up to 4 to 10 hours after injection. Okay, so it is local immune complex disease related reaction. It can be seen in an area of visible edema with severe hemorrhage followed occasionally by the ulceration. Now here it is again associated with the thrombi. This microthrombi get formed in the vessels, resulting in the local ischemic injury. So the local immune response, it will give rise to the ischemic injury. In this chart, you are looking here. See here, platelet aggregation, activation on Hashman factor. it will give rise to release of microthrombi formation, which gives rise to ischemia, and ischemia directly gives rise to necrosis. Okay, whenever ischemia occurs, there is necrosis, and necrosis may furthermore gives rise to ulcerations. Okay, so this FC receptor engagement, complement activation, they are the circulatory immune response. They are the part of circulatory immune response, and this black, it is a part of local immune response. Okay, now you are understanding, no, this chart. This is circulatory immune response, and this is localized immune response.
Immune response.
Okay, understanding? If there is any query, please ask me. Okay, so this local immune response, local immune complex disease, it is known as Arthus reaction, and this happens in the persons or the individuals which are already immunized against that antigen. This antigen, it is known to their system, and the circulating antibodies, they are present already in the system against that antigen. Whenever the same injection of that antigen, or if the same antigens introduced in that particular individual again, then what will going to happen? This will trigger the inflammatory reaction. Okay, now this is all about of type 3 hypersensitivity reaction. Now we are going to discuss about hypersensitivity type 4 reaction. This is the last part of hypersensitivity reactions. The cell mediated type of hypersensitivity initiated by antigen activated T lymphocyte. This hypersensitivity type 4 reaction, it is grouped under delayed type of hypersensitivity. It is nothing but delayed type of hypersensitivity initiated by antigen activated T lymphocytes. This antigen, they activates T lymphocyte. It includes the delayed type of hypersensitivity reactions mediated by CD4 plus T cells, and direct cell toxicity mediated by CD8 plus T cells. Okay, so delayed type of hypersensitivity, it is mediated by CD4, and direct cell toxicity, it is mediated by CD8 cells. The principal pattern of immunologic response, not only to a variety of pathogens such as uh, Mycobacterium tuberculosis, it is not only for this Mycobacterium tuberculosis, but it is also to many viruses, many fungi, protozoas, or parasite. So this immunological response, it arouses within 24 to 72 hours. Whenever there is this hypersensitivity, it develops slowly within 24 to 72 hours. Okay, and the principal pattern of immunological response, it is not just only against the Mycobacterium tuberculosis, but it is for the other viruses, bacteria, fungi, protozoas, and parasites. Now the examples of T cell mediated type 4 hypersensitivity. These are the examples of T cell mediated type 4 hypersensitivity. Now it is not clearly looking, I think. Can you see clearly about this chart? You can see what is written?
No, ma'am, not much clear.
Not much clear, no? So I am going to describe
Yes,
you. Okay, so here there are three columns: disease, specific
disease.
pathogenic T cells, and clinico-pathological manifestation. Okay,
Yes,
three things: disease, then specific pathogenicity or pathological T cells, and clinico-pathological manifestation. Now here the first example is type 1 diabetes mellitus. Write down type 1 diabetes mellitus in the first column. Then specificity of pathogenic T cells, they are these antigens of pancreatic isolates, B cells, okay, beta cells. These are the beta cells. Antigenic pancreatic islets, beta cells, they act as a antigens. Okay, that is insulin glutamic acid decarboxylase. Okay, or others. So these are the antigens which are taking part, and clinicopathological manifestation is insulitis, that is chronic inflammation in islets, destruction of beta cells, and diabetes. It is the clinical manifestation of this particular uh, in this particular disease, that is type 1 diabetes mellitus. Okay, understanding? Now the second example
Yes.
is multiple sclerosis. Now here the pathogenic T cell specificity is protein antigen in central nervous system myelin. Okay, myelin. Myelin is a basic protein or proteolipid protein. Okay, this is the protein. It is a antigenic. And the clinical pathological manifestation is demyelination in the central nervous system with perivascular inflammation, paralysis, and ocular lesions. Demyelination, that is myelin membrane get destructed, we call it as demyelination in the central nervous system with perivascular inflammation. So this is the second example. Third example is about rheumatoid arthritis, RA. The unknown antigen in joint synovium. Okay. So here again there are queries, that is about collagen and role of antibodies. There are queries about this particular specificity of pathogenic T cell rheumatoid arthritis. There is unknown antigen in joint synovium. Then clinicopathological manifestation is chronic arthritis with inflammation and destruction of articular cartilage and bone. These are the clinical manifestation of this particular disease, that is rheumatoid arthritis. The next is about peripheral neuropathy, Guillain-Barré syndrome. Have you heard this word, Guillain-Barré syndrome? You can read from or get some information from your network or from Google. What is Guillain-Barré syndrome? Okay. So you are going to tell me what is that particular about this syndrome, Guillain-Barré syndrome. Guillain, Guillain, Barre, Guillain-Barré syndrome. Okay. Peripheral neuropathy. It is a disease of peripheral neuropathy. Now here the antigen is protein antigen of peripheral nerve myelin against myelin, and the clinical pathological manifestation is neuritis and paralysis. So these are the examples of type 4 hypersensitivity. Okay. It is type 4 hypersensitive. These are the examples of type 4 hypersensitivity, which is T cell mediated. Okay. These reactions often referred to a delayed type of hypersensitivity because they develop slowly over 24 to 72 hours. And the classical example is tubercle follicle. Now, all of you know what is tubercle follicle, how it is formed, or what is how these follicles get formed due to this particular reaction. It is also concerned in other granulomatous diseases, the rejection of grafts, and several autoimmune diseases. Okay. Now, the skin reactions to chemicals, that is the contact dermatitis, it is illustrative. This condition is now common due to the increasing use of chemicals in the industry or for topical application. Now, it also shows the skin reactions, that is contact dermatitis. This condition is very, very common. Contact dermatitis. It is due to increasing the use of chemicals in industry or using some topical applications. The chemical is usually simple in nature, that is nickel. The chemical which used in this particular applications is a nickel. It acts as a hapten. which evokes the immune response. Now, what is haptane? I told you yesterday about this haptane.
Protein,
Yes,
haptane.
yes. What is the mechanism of this haptane? What happens due to release of this haptane? What is the function of this haptane? This nickel act as a haptane. It is a protein. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it is a foreign protein, no, which enters in your system.
Yes.
So it arouses the, or it stimulates to release the antibodies. That protein stimulates,
Formation of antibodies.
yes, release of antibodies, stimulates the
Antibodies.
formation of antibodies, which evokes the immune response. Because of this, there is this immune response get evokes. So chemicals, they combine with the tissue protein. There is formation of there is formation of foreign antigen, and this foreign antigen arouses the cell mediated immunity. It may causes inflammation. So this is the this is the inflammatory that we discussed in the type 3 hypersensitivity, cell mediated hypersensitivity. Okay.
Yes.
So
Yes.
this haptens or this particular antigen antibody complex formation may evoke the immune response, that is release of antibodies, or they arouses the inflammation where they get lodges. Okay. So it is this chemical, it is often a simple or it is not a complicated, it is simple in nature, and it always acts as a haptane. Okay, so the skin reaction here is contact dermatitis, and the classical example, the other classical example, all of you know, is formation of tubercle follicle. Okay, how this tubercle follicle gives rise to form in various systems, whether it forms in the lungs or intestines or in female genital tract or in spinal cord, bones. Okay, so anywhere this tubercle follicle may get formed. Now, can anybody tell me what is the that reaction? How this tubercle follicle get formed? Yes, primary complex. Yes. What is that primary complex? Yes. How immunity takes place? How what is the role of immunity in the formation of tubercle follicle? Yes.
Ma'am, that monocytes and lymphocytes and macrophages attack on that bacteria, and they get they are attached on around that bacteria, and they form a cyst-like structure.
What happens when these lymphocytes, when these monocytes, or when these neutrophils, they attack on this bacteria? What will going to happen? This bacteria is virulent. No, this bacteria is virulent. There is no. First of all, there is no phagocytosis. This get all these things, they get killed. These neutrophils get killed. This lymphocytes also get killed. But when they unite and they form epithelioid cell, again there will be no work of this epithelioid cell. Then there is formation of giant cell. So these are all things, they are part and parcel of this tubercle follicle, that is giant cells, this what we call it as, yes, epithelioid cells, joint cells, giant cells, and when these are not working, there is immune system take part in this particular reaction. There is release of antibodies. Okay, these antibodies, they lock that particular bacteria. Okay, and if the immune system is lower, or resistance is not good of that particular person, then what will going to happen? There will be formation of primary complex. Okay, and this all things, whenever they get aggregated, there is formation of primary complex, which is 1 centimeter in diameter, more than 1 centimeter in diameter, and which, yes, So
that
this
primary complex gets converted into cyst, no, in which that bacteria is
yes
gets attacked
yes
by
yes
all these lymphocytes and macrophages.
yes yes yes. So because of this attack, this primary complex get formed. It contains the bacteria, it contains the lymphocytes, it contains the giant cells or epithelioid cells or fibroblasts, and
Yes.
if this get restricted, then calcium salts get deposited, it get calcified, or sometimes if the resistance is not good, there is cavity formation. Okay, so this type of reaction of tubercle follicle forms in this particular type of hypersensitivity. Okay, so any granulomatous disease, it is also concerned in other granulomatous diseases. Okay, and several autoimmune diseases also, that is rheumatoid arthritis, diabetes mellitus, or irritable bowel, inflammatory bowel disease. It is inflammatory bowel disease syndrome, IBS. So inflammatory bowel, what are the inflammatory bowel diseases? Ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease. They are the inflammatory bowel diseases which gives rise to this particular hypersensitivity reaction. Okay, type 4 hypersensitivity reaction. So we discussed today about type 3 hypersensitivity reaction, type 4 hypersensitivity reaction, type 3 hypersensitivity reaction. It is related with systemic immune complex diseases, and it is related with localized immune complex disease. Okay, systemic and localized. In systemic, we discussed that is the disease occurs in the 3 phases pathogenesis of this disease. First phase, it is just related to introduction of antigen. Second phase is related with release of antigen antibody, formation of antigen antibody complexes. Third phase, it is related with deposition of these complexes in the tissues, which initiates the inflammatory reaction. Okay, so this is the diagrammatic representation of this particular disease. There are two complements, there are two mechanisms believed to cause the inflammation. First is activation of complement, and second is activation of neutrophil and macrophages with their Fc receptors. So here in this chart, we discussed about this. First is systemic immune complex reaction and systemic immune complex reaction with the help of Fc receptor and complement activation. And second way is localized immune reaction, that is Arthus reaction, formation of microthrombi, there is ischemia and necrosis. Okay, vasodilatation and edema. It also causes vasodilatation and edema. So this very important part of from your syllabus, hypersensitivity reactions. Please do study and take out your notes of type 1, type 2. I think I had given you this particular homework yesterday. That is, yes, what was that homework? Yes?
Type 1 and type 2 reaction.
Yes, type 1 reaction. And type 2. Hope you everybody gone through this particular syllabus, that is type 1 and type 2, and today's type 3 and type 4 hypersensitivity reaction. Okay, so
Yes.
if anyone joined late in this particular today's meeting, please take out the this screenshots. Yes, you can take the screenshots. I'm again going to open up them. Hypersensitivity type 3 reaction. Take out the screenshots. This is the first plate, second plate, pathogenesis, fourth one, that is examples of type 3 hypersensitivity reaction, systemic lupus erythematosus, polyarthritis nodosa, streptococcal, post-streptococcal, acute glomerulonephritis, arthritis, reactive arthritis, and Arthur's reaction. This is the next slide. Okay, so today we are going to end this meeting. Again, assignment for you, that is prepare about this type 3 and type 4 hypersensitivity reaction. Okay, so prepare about this reactions, that is Arthur's reaction. It may come for 2 marks. They can ask for 2 marks or maybe for 5 marks reaction. Okay, any queries? Yes. Any queries related to today's topic? Yes, you can ask me queries about today's lecture. Now next part we are going to discuss from tomorrow. I think it is about autoimmune diseases. We are going to discuss about autoimmune diseases. Okay, no queries, I think.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So I'm going to end this today's meeting. Okay. So we will meet tomorrow again at 3 p.m. Autoimmune diseases. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.